This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. If you click on the link in the description below, it'll take you to their store and they'll know I sent you there. Alright, so before we jump into another Kaldheim draft, I want to remind everyone that my content's sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by clicking on the link in the description below on YouTube or the logo below on Twitch. You can get Kaldheim, you can get Times Power Remastered, so check them out. Hey! I've gotten Outrun's Epiphany so many times, and it's probably the pick here too. It's just, you know, Time Walks are great, and it adds to the board. It's really good if you can combine it with some other flyers, because it makes the clock really impressive. I think it's pretty easily the first pick here. You know, Volatile Fjord, the Teamer Snowlands are all first pickable. And I'd be tempted to take it or Frostbite if Outrun's Epiphany wasn't here. But it is, so we'll be taking the Epiphany here. It's been good to us every time we've gotten it too, so, you know. Okay, so this is really great if you're in an aggressive deck. As is the Valkyrie. I kind of think we want Bergstrider, though. It's a great card. We do need some snow to enable it, but, you know, it's not that hard to get, like, 4 Snowlands to get it going. And even if you don't have Snowlands, remember, it does tap things down when it comes into play, no matter what. It just doesn't lock them down on your opponent's turn. It'll be tapped during your turn, though. I think people sometimes forget that. Somebody in chat earlier did, so I thought I would mention that. So, interesting. Kind of tempted to just take a Snowland almost, but it's probably not the right move. We don't really want this blue card. I mean, Eyeside Troll's really good. If we get enough Snowlands, we could speculate there. Elven Bow's pretty darn good too, though, in like a wide variety of decks. So I think I'd probably take it over the Troll. Yeah, I think we take the Bow. Like, you know, it just gives you a pretty nice creature no matter what, basically. And then, you know, equipment in this format plays pretty well in all the decks. So, okay, so I think here our main decision is Mistwalker versus Snow-Covered Forest. I'm kind of leaning towards Mistwalker. It's great. It enables a whole bunch of cards. You know, because of being a changeling, and then, you know, it just has good stats on its own. The Snow-Covered Forest is tempting, and, you know, Lidyara Mirror Lake's not bad either, but we take Mistwalker here. Strixhaven is the next, like, real set. Time Spiral Remastered comes out soon, but only in paper. Yeah, Search for Glory is not so good. We have a dual Snowland here, which often is just worth taking anyway. There's also Bound in Gold and Eyeside Troll, though. I don't know. I kind of think we take Bound in Gold. It's just such a good removal spell. You know, we're not locked in. I mean, our 3 blue cards are all quite good. Our green card's pretty good, but Bound in Gold is probably better than everything in our deck that's not Outrun's Epiphany, so Strixhaven is like an enemy-colored set, so the enemy color pairs, and it's like a magical school type deal. All right, so reasonable green cards here. Glittering Frost. And the Sentinel has actually been kind of an overperformer. Glittering Frost helps us set up snow stuff and fixing. I think I'm inclined to take it a little more than the Sentinel. But seeing this many, you know, these 3 green cards are all things you play pretty often. But yeah, I'll take Glittering Frost here. One of the interesting things about Strixhaven, I think, though, is that it's going to be... they very rarely these days do bottom-up set designs, where they design the mechanics and then made the world around those mechanics, instead of coming up with a world like, you know, this is like Norse world, and then building the set around it being Norse world. They did it the other way around, which they used to do a lot. But they haven't done it, I feel like, in a while. Like Ravnica is an example of that. So Shepherd of the Cosmos is pretty good. Arctic Treeline and Sculptor of Winter are both things I'm interested in, too. I think we need to start taking Snow pretty badly, so I think I'm going to go with Snow here. Arnie Slays the Troll's pretty good, but I think we grab a Sculptor of Winter here. Red doesn't seem crazy open. I think white and green are both reasonably open. Blue, not terrible looking either, but yeah. Okay, so another Glittering Frost here. I think we probably take that, and we're doing pretty well in terms of snow mana. Yeah. We definitely want more snow lands, but at this point, you know, between Sculptor of Winter and Bergstrider, we're doing all right. Wow. Ursher of the Fallen coming all the way around is kind of interesting, and I think it is what we take. It's a great one-drop. We already have one white card, and it wouldn't be a huge stretch to see us maybe transition into a more aggressive deck, but I don't really want any of the other cards in this pack. So I think that's what we take. Kind of the same thing here. I think we probably just grab the Snow Plains because we need snow lands, but Story Seeker is an okay 2-drop. Yeah, and Ravnica's a set where they said, okay, we want to make 2 colors the thing, and then they made a world around that idea. So that's the difference between top-down, where you're like, Egypt set. What kind of mechanics do we design for an Egypt set? And then bottom-down is looking at game mechanics first and then creating the world. Trying to think of the most recent, other than the Ravnica, you know, revisiting Ravnica sets. Like, I guess Zendikar might be, originally anyway, bottom up, where they were like, we want to do all land things. Yeah, that's probably true. So we take the Mirror Lake here. It's pretty nice to have around in the late game. All right, we'll take Oracle. This Snow Rare is horrible, and I would take it just for the gems if there weren't a reasonable white card in the pack, but there is. All right. I think Divine Gambit, like, it's not great, but I think, you know, in the late game it's pretty good. Okay, so white is crazy open, so it may not even be a snow deck in the end, depending on how things pan out here. Then we have this pack, though. So Battle of Frost and Fire is really good in a giant deck, basically a one-sided board wipe with some additional value. Svella is obviously insane as a snow payoff. Bound in Gold, great. Feed the Serpent, pretty good too. Black is kind of underwhelming in this set. And then we've got Shimmerdrift Vale and Woodland Chasm. So this pack is strong. It's hard. This is the kind of pack where it's kind of hard to make a decision in this format because you're pulled in so many directions. Like, I kind of think we don't want Battle of Frost and Fire. We're not doing amazing on Giants at this point. But I might want Svella. Like, she's great at setting up ramp and everything else. We could try to go more aggressive because white is so open. But I think I take Svella in the end here. You know, it looks like white is crazy open, which may mean we want to be an aggro deck, but it's hard to say no to Svella. You know, Fall of the Imposter is good. These are both great if we go aggro. I kind of think we're going to take a snow land here, though. It helps us splash Svella for one thing. And, you know, snow mana is pretty big in this set, in case you didn't hear. We're not going to... It's very unlikely we get there on Icebreaker Kraken. So this is a pack that has us kind of leaning back towards being more aggressive because of Battlefield Raptor. Pack 1, pick 1 was Auron's Epiphany. I don't like Trickster God's Heist a whole lot. I mean, it's basically Snow-Covered Mountain or Battlefield Raptor. Or God's Codespell Cleric. I mean, that's a thing, too. Or, you know, Pilfering Hawk, I guess. You know, I think I'm going to take the Raptor here. We're going to see where things go. Okay, we definitely want Sculptor of Winter. Our deck now has 3 snow lands, so it's already set up pretty nicely. So the second one is pretty good. So yeah, I think we take the Sculptor. God, yeah, green-white is definitely looking more attractive, which is annoying because we have Auron's Epiphany, but I have played it like a million times, so I'd probably be okay. So I think we want to take the Courser here. I mean, these red cards are okay, these blue cards are okay, but I think the Courser is just better than all of them, so I think that's what we'll take. Yeah, I mean, here's a good 2-drop. It seems like we're going aggro now, which means we do need to change our focus a little bit, but blue just doesn't seem open enough. And I'm not sure green does either, but we're seeing really good green and white cards. So Decent black, too, really, but yeah. I'll take the Shield Maid here. Okay, so probably Goldvein pick. You know, this guy's great if we were to go red-white. I don't see that happening. Snowfield Sinkhole's an okay snowland, but we're not really that interested in snow mana anymore. So I think we probably just take the pick. We have these low drops that it's great on, so... Oh, Clarion Spirit. Yes, please. Okay, yeah. So this can set up all kinds of crazy stuff. Even just getting one token out of it's great, and you can do more than that. Yeah. We do need some tricks, like ideally Mammoth Growth, but I think we take the Spirit here. Yeah, and then we take Fall of the Imposter. Green-white it is. So we sort of tried, you know, we were pulled a little bit in the direction of snow, but I think green-white is definitely the right place for us to be based on what we've seen. We will still play the tree line. We might still play the forest too, depending on the Highland Forest, that is. Do we want another Fall or a Battlefield Raptor? I think we probably want another Fall. Yeah, Maya would be good. So I guess green, we could still be maybe a white-blue deck, but... which would let us play our Epiphany, so there might be something there, because our green cards aren't, like, crazy good. Our white ones are much, much better. White seems very open, so that's good. So maybe we consider still going blue, and maybe, you know, we'd be less aggressive probably, but, you know, you'd have access to Berg Strider and Auron's Epiphany. So, you know, that's pretty good, last I heard. Hi, Husem. I'm doing good. We've had 2 3/3 drafts so far today, so... yeah, I think we just grab Code Spell Cleric. Vega's kind of worth a look, but... yeah, I mean, I haven't been that impressed with blue-white overall. We'll take a Broken Wings, sure. Yeah, I mean, blue-white flyers is the best place for Epiphany, it's true. Yeah, I'll take another one just to cut it. We're not going to play more than one, though. So we do need to pick up basically like a lot of aggressive creatures and some more like picks and equipment and stuff like that to be really happy. We could consider splashing Sfella. She's not exactly, you know, aggressive, but she gives us a little bit of late game punch. She actually has decent stats. Here's a trick we might play if we're desperate. So she could end up making it in the end. Okay, so... all right. So Boreal Outrider's pretty good. We don't have so much snow mana that it's going to be great in our deck. Finn is pretty good, obviously. Goldvein pick, number 2 wouldn't be bad. It would make it easier to splash Sfella, for example. But with 2 snowlands, I kind of feel like Boreal Outrider does enough. I think... do we have a Snow Plains? We do. So we actually have 3 snowlands. I think we take Boreal Outrider here. It's a nice creature, makes all of our other creatures bigger when we cast them, if we have the mana. So yeah. The pick is good, too, and so is Finn, but I think we've got a decent build for our Outrider to do its thing. Alright, there's a Demon Bolt. Something we could consider splashing. I think we probably just take the Sculptor. I mean, we wouldn't mind Valkyrie's Sword as a late game punch, and right now we're not really ramping into anything with our other Sculptors. So maybe we do want the Sword more than Sculptor number 3. We could use a little bit of late game, you know, and you can also play this early as a semi-reasonable equipment. Yeah, I think we'll take the Sword here. Rootless U doesn't get us anything right now. So I think I probably either want to take another good 2-drop or a Snow-Covered Plains. I'm leaning towards the 2-drop. Yeah. Sfella's not going to be great in our deck if our curve's as low as it looks, so she's probably not going to make it. And our curve is really, really low. Another Clarion Spirit would be great. If you have a really low curve, like Sfella's ability to make all this mana and be a mana sink isn't that good. Okay, so here we're looking, I think, at Courser or Gladewalker. We do have 2 falls and pick, which this makes cheaper. It's also got flying. But having a low curve is pretty appealing. Like, keeping our curve low is pretty appealing. Kind of think I want the Gladewalker a little more here. Yeah, I like Gladewalker. I like Bergstrider too, but I think the ship has sailed on that deck. So we could take a 3rd fall, but I don't think we want to. It's kind of awkward, you know, when you have a million of them. So if we get Masked Vandal, it's basically a Broken Wings upgrade in most ways. If we get the Gold Vein pick... Oh. There's also Abounding Gold. Probably just take it. It is kind of a non-bow with Fall of the Imposter if we're not careful. And that is not so good. Maybe we just want the pick in the end here. We have Broken Wings. Just upgrading our Broken Wings, probably not worth a pick here. I mean, it is worth this pick, but you know what I mean. So there's another Boreal Outrider. There's also a Kaya's Onslaught, which is a great way to find lethal out of nowhere. The Outrider's good, but not great in our deck. We do still kind of need more creatures to be happy, I think. So taking the Onslaught here is a little scary, but I think we're going to do it anyway. Blizzard Brawl won't get it done in our deck, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll take the Onslaught. There's another one. That's always a little frustrating. All right, so pick is great and all, but I kind of don't really think we want to be grabbing another one. I think we probably grab, like, Oracle here. Scald does get back our Falls of the Imposters and our picks if they get blown up. But I feel like keeping our curve low is wise here. Okay, so do we want another Snowland or a Sculptor of Winter? I kind of feel like another Snowland upgrades the Sculptors we already have, and it also upgrades our Boreal Outrider. It's also good fixing, so yeah, I think we'll take a Snowland there. Don't think we want Broken... Well, maybe we play Funeral Longboat. Maybe. Wow, all the Sculptors in the world, huh? We would have... If we got one of the rare elf payoffs, would have been pretty good in our deck in the end. All right, we'll grab a Snow-Covered Plains over Wings of the Cosmos. One thing we didn't get is, like, the really great tricks, but I think I'll survive. So there's that 3rd fall. Would I like to play 3 falls? I don't think so. I think a Recluse is good. When we've already got 1 Bounding Gold, 3 falls is kind of asking for it. And they're slow, and that's as nice as they are. And I think the first copy is, like, really good. Too many of them can be not so good. I think our curve's looking good. I would have liked, like, another Clarion Spirit. Well, we'll take the Glacial Floodplain. That second, wow, second Kai's Onslaught, too. Interesting. Interesting. So white was, like, crazy open. That second Boreal Outrider would have turned out to be pretty good in our deck, I think. So I think we probably play both Onslaughts and don't want Wings of the Cosmos in this deck. Let's see here. Yeah, I can definitely cut a land. That much is true. Second Clarion Spirit would have made this deck so good. Second Boreal Outrider would have turned out really good too. Yeah, this is tricky. I think probably we don't need the Recluse. We have flyers that can, like, you know, block. So I think we probably don't need the Recluse. And then we can cut 1 land. Probably a forest. We have the 2 tree lines. We may end up cutting the tap lands that don't fix for our colors in a deck that has, you know, so many 1s and 2s. I think we probably do. I mean, you know, they do provide a little bit of an upgrade, but our deck's not so good at ramping that the Sculptor will be great. And the Boreal Outrider will still be pretty good. So I think actually cutting a couple of these tap lands is probably fine. And then that gives us 9 green and 10 white. And then we can probably cut 1 plains. Yeah, the question is whether a deck like this really needs 3 Sculptors. I mean, we do have Valkyrie's Sword. That's like the only real thing we have to ramp into. So maybe we don't need so many of them. Am I desperate for Broken Wings? Maybe not. I mean, maybe we're more interested in just jamming as many creatures into this thing as possible and stealing wins with Kaya's Onslaught and stuff. Yeah, we could probably cut Broken Wings. We could consider Divine Gambit, too. If we're really an aggressive deck, it's not so good. And I think we are. Because you need to play it late. If we play this early, it's a nightmare, basically. So, yeah, we'll probably lose the Gambit. We do, you know, have a little bit of a shortage of removal. We have the Bound and the 2 Falls, but I think that's okay. It does look like our curve's higher than it is because a bunch of these have Foretell. I think we probably do cut a Sculptor. Yeah. All right. I think this looks pretty good. You know, I kind of would have liked the Pump Your Whole Board spell, but I think Kaya's Onslaught will be able to pretty effectively steal us games in a similar way that card would. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, I feel pretty good. It's definitely our best deck of the day. We'll see what the record ends up being, but it's the best deck of the day in terms of, like, what the most likely outcome is for it is, which I would say is probably like 5-3, if I had to guess. I think that's the first time I've taken Alrund's Epiphany and then not gotten to play it. Right, I mean, you know, any hand where you go Battlefield Raptor, Goldvein pick is pretty solid, and we definitely keep this. Should we splash Sfella? I mean, we definitely could. The pick really helps us in that regard, but man. So Battlefield Raptor, pick, Fall of the Imposter is not too bad of a start. Especially if our opponent's like a snow deck. They're probably not. I mean, they're not definitely not, but they're, you know, very likely more aggressive if they're running the Gladewalker. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I think we play the Fall. I mean, we have Bound and Gold in our hand awkwardly, so we need to be getting the Falls out there before we ever plan on Bound and Golding anything. Or, you know, stuff's going to get ugly. So, let's go all in on this Battlefield Raptor. That's not good for our opponent. The fact that we don't have any other creatures is kind of a bummer, but we may be able to kill them very quickly with this Battlefield Raptor, the way things are right now. Yeah, let's... we can actually do it... Can we do it next turn? With Onslaught and everything? We might be able to. Yeah, we will have lethal next turn if they can't kill our Raptor or play a blocker. So, yeah. They didn't let us Kaya's Onslaught. But, you know, given the situation, that was pretty nasty. That is one of the nice things, you know, a snow deck can't always punish a deck having a slow start like that, but an aggro deck, obviously enough, can. All in on the Battlefield Raptor. We kind of want to go first every game. We didn't in that one, and we still won, so that's good. Let's go first in the rest of them. Darn. It's a pretty good hand anyway. We have Snow Mana plus Boreal Outrider, which is attractive. We probably play the untapped land first. I mean, yeah, now I think we definitely do. You know, the tree line's nice and all, but, you know, our deck is aggressive enough that if we have a 1-drop, we'd rather play it than a tapped snow land. Yeah, that's pretty annoying because, like, effectively they trade for each other and then they each make a token. It's not that appealing overall. Yeah, so I think we play our Sculptor here. We could attack and plan on just making the token. Do we feel like we have the better late game? I mean, it's a pretty even trade. I pay 1 more mana total than they do, I suppose. Yeah, I think we attack and just plan on making the token. Even if they don't block, I think we make the token. Yeah, so we'll make the token here. Pretty good go wide payoff. Kind of think we want to play Starnheim Courser here. Next turn we probably play Outrider and finally play our Snowland. They have a pretty good attack here, thanks to Boast. I could double block the Batter Shield Warrior, but I'm not sure it's worth it. I think we just take it. If they want to spend their whole turn pumping them both, and not taking away any of our cards, I think we're kind of okay with that. I mean, they might have 1 mana. They will have 1 mana left over, but, you know, if that's what they did. But it would pretty much be the whole turn. Yeah, that's not good. Hey, a pick. I still kind of think Boreal Outrider plus Arctic Tree Line is a pretty good play here. Yeah. That way we can play a 3/3 Sculptor next turn. So we're going to attack. I mean, I'm not going to be blocking, so might as well. So I can actually block the warrior now. Now I can't. Yeah, so we'll take this. Obviously with lifelink, this is something they're going to win in the long run, so we're really counting on drawing removal. Or just playing large enough creatures. I mean, the problem is the rune is what it's on, so... Okay, well... That makes things a little interesting. So I think we play the Sculptor here. Make that a 3/3. Then we play Fall of the Imposter. It's just a question of where I want to put this. I feel like making this a 4/4 is pretty good right now. Then we also play our pick. Thanks, Starnheim Courser. I'm also going to attack with the Courser, because, yeah. Thank you for the follow, Sir Grote. Alright, so they're not attacking this turn, I don't think, based on that. So I think we put this one on the courser. Then we move the pick to the courser. I guess we can attack with the courser and then move the pick to the outrider. That's not the worst. Or move it to the sculptor, which will be a 5/5. But a 4/3 is pretty reasonable. Yeah, I think we want to put it on the sculptor. End our turn. The diet of verms, huh? That's a heavy topic in the middle of a game. Uh-oh. Well, we are going to get to kill whatever they... Well, most likely whatever they put it on, we're going to get to kill. Yeah. So we'll get to kill the pack mate after it hits us for 4. I would rather kill Battershield Warrior, obviously enough, but killing the pack mate isn't a terrible consolation prize. Okay. So Doomscar Oracle will be a 4/3. I think I'm going to attack with the Sculptor here. I think it's likely they just take it, but I guess we'll see. If they chump with that token, I'm down with it. If they chump with the shield mate, also down with that. So either of those works for me. Yeah. Alright. It would be nice to gain life off of our Oracle, but, you know, what are you going to do? Play our Oracle. And then I think we move the pick to our courser. Yeah. It is nice when we have Arctic Treeline in play with Boreal Outrider, because it means any creature we can draw will come into play with a +1/+1 counter. And we do have 2 of them. I do really regret not taking that second Outrider. At the time, it didn't look so good, but kind of would have panned out. Clarion Spirit, that'll come in handy. Also, it'll be bigger. Okay, so I mean, think I attack with both of those. They want to trade Finn for one of them. I don't think that upsets me a ton. You know, holding on to the Spirit is kind of tempting because I could double spell, but I could just as easily draw a land. So we don't really want it to go that way. Yeah, I'm down with that trade for sure. Okay. I'm very happy with both of those trades. I'm a little surprised to see it go that way. They do have equipment that'll make almost anything they play scary, but, like, I have such a good board state that maybe they have Doomscar, I guess? God, let's hope not. Doomscar would be real bad. That's, like, maybe the only thing that makes sense, though. I think I probably just called it, and we're about to get Doomscarred, and we'll be completely dependent on drawing well the rest of the game. Okay, good. That's not a Doomscar, so that's a good sign. Okay, now it makes a little more sense. They have a second Finn, so trading one isn't a disaster. Okay, you'll be a 3/2. I don't really think we have a good attack here. I mean, trading Courser for Finn doesn't sound great, mostly because they have Raven Wings and Ruined Crown, like, ready to help them win any race in the sky, and I kind of need to hold on to the body. Yeah, so I think we're just going to play Shieldmate here. And end the turn. I'd say the Treaty of Westphalia, I mean, it created the idea of sovereignty, more or less. So, you know, it's not still in effect, but it created what we think of as like a modern United Nations-y type world where everyone's supposed to have their own sovereignty. So it's a big deal. I wish I had a Warhorn Blast in this deck. I have Kaya's Onslaught. That's kind of our sneak-in lethal card, but right now, that's not going to be super easy, unfortunately. Sneaking in lethal, that is. We have 2 Kaya's Onslaughts, actually. We really aren't going to be able to afford to draw land, so let's hope we don't. Nice. Double Shieldmate. So, I actually think we have an attack now. We put this on the Shieldmate. We attack. I pass AP European history. I have a PhD in history, so I think I'm okay. Granted, Treaty of Westphalia isn't exactly what I have my PhD in, but I do teach early modern Europe. Okay, let's play Shieldmate. Put this there again. Yeah. We've done a good job drawing spells. Creatures in particular. So this board is kind of worse than it looks for us, though. I mean, it looks kind of like we're going to win this race, but gotta remember Rune of Sustenance is hanging out over there. And I basically will need to double block the Braggart in the relatively near future. I'm probably gonna take it this turn if it attacks me, I think. Just because we don't have... If I'd left back a Shieldmate, I'd have a pretty attractive block, but I didn't. Oh, no. Yeah, we have one of those that would be pretty nice right about now. That is really bad. Let's draw ours to counter that. Well, Kai's Onslaught kind of does. Kind of, sort of. Freaking lifelink, man. So we're probably going to have to use the Onslaught defensively here. We may as well foretell it, though, I guess. And end our turn. This has been a really long game for 2 green-white decks. Like... You'd think this was like a snow mirror. Oof. So that means even with Onslaught, the best I'm going to do is 2-for-1 myself. And it's not even a 2-for-1, because then the Valkyrie's Sword will stick around. So this isn't good. We do have to do it, but it's not going to be good. Yeah. So we will kill the Angel token, so there's that. But they hold on to all the other stuff over there. The sword, the helm, all of it. Unless we draw something awesome that probably more or less results in game. Because now I don't have a flyer. Yeah, that's not going to save us. So they should be able to kill us here. They should be able to suit up the Braggart, I guess, and just run us over. Yeah. I mean, we do survive one more turn, so there's that. And if we can draw... I don't think there's much we can draw that saves us. Because even if we can stop the Braggart, we still have to deal with all that equipment. So I'm thinking we're dead. It's funny that our first game was like insanely fast. We just went all in on a Raptor and just killed our opponent on like turn 4 or whatever. And then this one is like an eternity and we're gonna lose. I don't have Doomscar or anything, so Even Doomscar wouldn't be that great here because I don't have anything to do after. Well, I guess I would have 2 1/1s. That wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, we lose. I don't think you have a knee-jerk reaction to playing Broken Wings. I mean, you're going to lose to those things. It just happens. Ooh, this is an interesting one. I do think we keep it. We're kind of hoping we get white mana out of our pick. But that's not like a crazy scenario. And we drew white anyway, so there you go. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with Gladewalker for now. Right, so this is going to be... I mean, I think what we want to do here is play the pick and equip it, since we have the good attack. You know, adding a creature to the board is meaningful, but I think so is adding the pick to the board. Gets us up to 5 mana next turn. We're not like a crazy ways away from being able to play the sword as a scary creature. Yeah, our opponent's having a struggle too. Gosh, I probably just double spell now, Oracle in Sculptor of Winter to gain the life. Yeah. Yep, so we go Oracle, Sculptor. This is kind of like our first game where our opponent was stumbling and we were able to get lethal. Kind of sucks for our opponent. Ah. Scorn Effigy is here. So, I kind of feel like attack with everything. Maybe I just want to bound and gold the Effigy and attack with everything. Seems pretty reasonable to me. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So next turn we might be able to play the Valkyrie Sword. They may sack. I mean, they do have Scorn Effigy to sack to the Great Hall of Starnheim, which might be a bit of a problem. So yeah, if we draw a land, we can do this. If we don't draw a land, we can still play Elven Bow. Doomscar or what? Seems like a weird attack. I guess maybe they have the Jarl. Okay. Well, Let's find out. So if we hit them with our Gladewalker... that's really good here because it lets them exile the Scorn Effigy. We probably have to use the Onslaught here to kill that. Yeah, that's probably what we'll do. It's a good deal for them, though, because they get the Effigy back. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to go Kaya's Onslaught. They get their Effigy back. Thinking I might play Starnheim Courser here. It seems pretty valuable to have a body in the air. It also reduces the cost of these equipment. Well, I guess just the sword, really. So, that Glorious Protector play probably keeps this from being an easy win for us now, unfortunately. Oh, yeah. Definitely. So, I could just play the sword and equip it here. Could also just play the bow and equip it here. So, making it a 5-4 doesn't really do us any good here. I think I'd probably just attack with the Gladewalker. They probably double block it. They may just take it, I guess, if they're trying to go wide enough to kill us or something. And then I think we just play Elven Bow and get the creature token. We had an easy win a minute ago, so our first one of the day was an easy one. Yeah, so we kill the Effigy, obviously enough. We kill the Goldmaw Champion if that's what double blocks. I guess they're worried we have a trick, which I wish we did. Yeah, I think they made the right choice, unfortunately, for us. And then we play Elven Bow. Pay 2. Equip the pick to it. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Okay, so next turn we will be able to do the sword. That's pretty nice. That could help us close it out. I'm hoping it does. Yeah, we just end our turn for now. They got their equipment too. Okay, so okay. So if they can't kill our flyer, they can make... They do have 2 Great Halls of Starnheim, so they can make angels to get in the way. But if they can't kill the flyer, it can do lethal next turn, potentially. But, I mean, upgrading a 1/1 into a 4/4 flyer right now seems like a pretty good play for them. With Goldmot Champion in play, they could even potentially attack pretty hard here. They weren't really aware of where it came from. In fact, they had all kinds of crazy theories, J-Lil, about where it came from, including Jews poisoning wells and cats and, you know, women. You know, so they had no idea. They didn't know it geographically came from somewhere else. So it didn't really have an impact then on the trade, because they didn't really know. I mean, it impacted trade in the sense that basically the Mongol Empire collapses first, and then everything else kind of falls apart, and it impacts the trade in that sense. But it doesn't impact it because they're like worried they're going to get it from abroad. Okay, so we play, I guess we play Beskar Shieldmate here. Then we play Code Spell Cleric. Who most benefits from an upgrade here? I mean, I guess it's just this creature. We attack with it. They have to block with Vega. Well, they don't have to, I guess. They could go to 2. If I'd moved both equipment, they would have had to, but then I wouldn't necessarily have been able to move it back. So, yeah. They're trying to decide if they have to take this, and they decided to, because I'm guessing they're going to like double Great Hall of Starnheim to take it down. But we're kind of okay with that, I think, if that's their plan. I should definitely have moved the equipment. Not being able to move it back wouldn't have been a huge cost. Yeah, so they're going to Starnheim. So they are having to contend with our Angel. Right, this time. We have plenty of mana, so we may as well just move both. Okay. I guess we'll move the bow. Yeah. And put it on, like... Yeah, put it on the sculptor. So yeah, their plan, I guess, is just to try to not die to this Angel right now. We don't... If they draw removal, I think we're in some significant trouble. We're not completely done yet, but we need this Angel to get us there pretty badly. They have to give up a realer card now if they want to use Great Hall of Starnheim than they did last time. Like, all of these have some relevance. Like, gaining 1 life definitely matters. It would have really been smart of me to move both equipment on that last turn. On that first turn I attacked with the Angel, that is, because they would have had to block, and I think we probably just would have won. But, you know, it's whatever. Hopefully we can still get there. Okay. Guess we're gonna do this again. They have had plenty of time to draw removal, unfortunately, for us. So, you know. They could have a Jarl that they didn't want to foretell because they didn't want to make it clear that that's what they were going to do. I don't know what's happening over there, but I don't think I like it. Okay. Well, that's not going to be enough either. Does give you yet another blocker, though. Scared of tricks? Or do they have a trick of their own? Yeah, I kind of thought that might be the case. Alright, well, we're not completely toast, but that does make our lives a lot more difficult. So, I think we play Fall of the Imposter now. I think... So, 2, 3, 4... I kind of think Code Spell Cleric having Vigilance is what we most want to do. So I think going all in on him seems like a reasonable plan. Yeah, that was rough, that Demonic Gifts. So if I'd played the Fall first and put the counter on my Angel, they wouldn't have had a block. I thought about doing it, but it was like... They had to have a flash creature and Demonic Gifts, you know? So I didn't think that hard about it. Once they played the Charger, I thought about it. But, you know. We do get to kill their biggest creature in the future. Okay, well, I guess they decided they didn't want to deal with all the nonsense. I was going to suit up my Vigilance creature all the way and start attacking. So they could have blocked it, but it wouldn't have been easy. And then I would have just kept moving the equipment to other creatures. It's kind of like how our last opponent beat us, actually. Doing the same exact kind of thing with all their equipment. All right. I mean, some of the reason they were saved wasn't even because they smartened up, Trey. It was because, you know, not everybody died. I mean, and the people who didn't generally had immunity, and then later waves of plague weren't nearly as deadly because people passed on their genetic immunity and, you know, evolution and all that. This isn't the fastest hand ever, but I think we keep it. But yeah, they do figure things out near the end of the Middle Ages, like that if they drain a lymph node that is a bubo, which, you know, an inflamed lymph node, if they drained it, the person was much more likely to survive. So they figured that out, and that was a big deal. So, yeah. And, you know, they also figure out the basic idea of quarantine, things like that, that those are effective. Interesting. I could get really greedy here and wait for a later turn, but I can actually double spell next turn, so I think just playing the Oracle here is fine, and then next turn I play Fall and Code Spell. I don't know what he invented. You're talking about modern history now. In American modern history, it sounds like. It's not really my area of expertise, so I'm not sure what he invented. Okay. So there is a chance they have something awful like Frostbite, which would make this play a lot less impressive, but I think we still go for it. Maybe we put the second counter on our Cleric because, It's tempting because of Frostbite and Demon Bolt to spread things out a little. I think it's fine to do, actually. So the great news about having Fall in play is, like, they have to play around the awful fact that, you know, stuff might get a little hairy for them. Alright, so let's move this here. I guess they're just going to not add to the board is their plan, so that Chapter 3 doesn't do anything. But I think we're kind of okay with that if that's their plan. Provoke the trolls, sure. You provoked them. In that case... I'm going to spread things out a little bit more. And we're going to hold on to this land for now. They may be doing enough here to be able to overcome our early onslaught, unfortunately for us. They also might not be, but it looks like they can dirtle enough that, you know, they're not going to be dead. Unless we top deck Kai's Onslaught. We do have two of them. Darn. Take that. It's very unfortunate we can't add to the board here, but at least we have Bound in Gold. I want them to just, like, tap out for a big creature that has no impact on the board, but it's probably going to be, like, Bergstrider. Okay, well. Tap some more mana, please. It seems likely they're going to play, you know, a wizard now, but... Yep. Okay. However, I do like... So if we go Bound in Gold... Move the pick to our Glade Walker. Don't Frostbite. Come on. Oh, Frostbite. Okay, we're in trouble. I mean, you know, we're still in pretty good shape. They kind of have to block their... Well, maybe they don't. We're going to need to draw well to close this one out with the amount of mana they have. They do have really low life, so we have that going for us. But we need to stop drawing lands. Yeah, that's less than ideal. Do I just attack here and accept the trade? Kind of think we do. If only we had Kaya's Onslaught, you know. Okay, come on, let's draw all creatures. Especially our sword. Let's draw our sword. Man, I've been doing that lately. It's worked out pretty well. Okay. I guess we attack here. May as well, right? Yeah, I think we do. We get a body out of it, a body that we can make lethal. Yeah, and then we play... Okay. Let's hope they don't have squash or something. I mean, even if they do, the fact the sword sticks around is just great. That's like the only card we have in our deck that we like ramp into, and we didn't really in this game. We just played it. It's going to be interesting if they do absolutely nothing here. And that is what they do, absolutely nothing. Move our pick here just to be a little cautious. They would have been able to easily block the 2/2, so attacking with both, not really worth it. I guess I could move the sword, but that opens this up to a lot more removal if I do. So, yeah. Gotta block with Pilfering Hawk or die. Oh, I think they might have something here. Squash. Alright, well, we're still not done, thanks to all of our equipment, so play Goldmaw Champion here. I think we put the pick here. And the sword there. So they can loot here, unfortunately. Yeah, Disdainful Stroke's terrible against us. I don't think we have any card in our deck that can target, so it's almost like they mulliganed. Do we have anything that costs 4 or more? Equipping the token would have forced a block, but they would have just blocked with a 1/3. So it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, maybe I should have done it just to do it, but I thought making our 1 creature bigger so it could survive more removal and other shenanigans seemed a little bit better. That Starnheim Courser would have been nice. Well, well, well. They are getting the shields up over there, which is not so good for us. So, if I attack here... if I move the pick to the Goldmaw Champion and attack here, that seems pretty good, because I can tap down the Thought Thief, and then they can't do enough damage to kill our champion. So that's what we're going to do here. Oop. Then we'll play our bow in our second main phase, which is pretty good here. So they have to block with something. I'm guessing probably the Harbinger. Yeah. Then we play the bow. These two little, you know, equipment creature token things have been pretty big for us, which, you know, not a huge shock or anything. Do I want to move anything over to the 2/3? I don't think so. I think keeping this out of range of Demon Bolt is worth it, because it's more key for us right now, certainly. Alright, so that's a good sign, you know. that they have to loot now, because that means they are probably dead. No. The loot worked for them. They found a creature. And I think that's what they wanted. Just going out on a limb here. We still have Bounding Gold somewhere in our library. That would be pretty good. Okay. Yeah, those, you know, back-to-back games where the Angel token equipment really came up big because it made a huge creature that our opponent had to, like, throw a bunch of resources at to kill, and then we still had the equipment lying around. And it was making the board still a problem for them. Okay, this hand's fine. It's one of those hands where you kind of consider... Ooh, now it's even better. One drop to add to the curve. What was I going to say? Oh, it's the kind of hand where you might consider playing the sword without getting an angel, just because it'll be... considerably cheaper once if our coursers in play and, like, you know, allowed to stay in play. Alright, so we definitely attack here. I think if they block, we make a token, and if they don't block, we play Besker's Shieldmate. Yeah, that's probably the plan. We could consider just making the token no matter what, but Shieldmate is going to be, you know, it does give us kind of a free card in the sense that you get a 1/1 out of it, but a 2/1 that leaves us a 1/1 is a heck of a lot better for 2 mana than just a straight up 1/1. So we're using a real card instead, but I think that's okay. Morning, Zangief. Yeah, time for coffee, indeed. For those of us in the Western Hemisphere, anyway. I know some of you aren't there, so. Do you think they attack with... Okay. So... I'm definitely blocking one of these. It's just a question of which one. This hits us harder right now, but Axeguard Cavalry can cause some serious problems in the later part of the game. Yeah, let's block the cavalry. Okay. I think we still play Starnheim Courser here. Yeah, I guess it's time for coffee in the UK if you're having your, like, afternoon... tiredness, lethargy. That's the word. I'm the kind of person who can't really drink coffee afternoon, or it keeps me up, or I get really jittery. Thank you for the resub, Killer Tofu. Yeah, that Glade Warden's not good. We kind of really need to find some more action at some point in the near future. Although, we're getting close. I guess actually next turn, if we play our Sculptor, we can play the sword as an angel token. And that'll be pretty good. I'm pretty sure we won our last couple games off of Valkyrie's sword. I say pretty sure for those of you watching on YouTube, because I streamed those first few games yesterday from, you know, my perspective. And I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure we did. So if we're allowed to play the sword next turn, that's going to be a pretty big deal, I think. Yeah, and we're going to be able to. I think we probably attack with the Courser, and if they want to block, well, that makes things even more interesting. So yeah, I think we attack with our Courser here. trading for the Recluse here is fine. I'm not going to use the Onslaught because we can just play the Sword this turn. Oh, wait. I screwed that up. Because I need the Courser's mana reduction ability. I mean, you know, there wasn't a lot to screw up. I guess it would have been better to actually play the Sword first and then attack with Courser, but, you know. Yeah, so I did screw that up. However, we can fix it now, I guess. Sort of. We may have missed out on a couple damage, but... They can make one creature really big with their Glade Warden. But I think our Kaya's Onslaught will allow us to punch through pretty effectively. Yeah, so they're going to make him into a 6/4. Him into a 4/2. Yeah, so... the question here is whether I also want to attack with the Courser. The answer is probably not. I guess... No. Yeah. So let's just attack with our Angel. They're going to try to double block, I think. And that should really help us. So, because of our Onslaught. Yeah, so... Let me kill you first. Yeah, so Onslaught. And... see you later. So that should open things up for us pretty well next turn. There's not a great chance that they have a sweeper here, so I think I'm just going to play our bow too. And I think, barring something crazy, we should be able to win this turn. Or, you know, put ourselves in a winning position at any rate. Okay, that's a little crazy, but probably not crazy enough. Yeah, so they are going to be able to put the wings on it, but I think we're still going to win this race. Yeah, I think we probably just go all out here. Yeah, that is what we do. Because I take 8 in the air, then we'll be able to finish them in the air next turn. I can still play the Shieldmate. I can make a 1/1 token too, so... barring them getting some crazy card on this next turn, we should be okay here. Yeah, so they're going to block that. They're going to block that. And they take 11. Huh. Yeah, okay, so we're going to... do that. And then play Shieldmate. Should be good game. They said good game, but there are some things... like another Lindworm here would be a little bit of a problem. Okay, that's not what they have. Now I feel kind of like a jerk if I say good game, so... yeah, okay, so... yeah, let's put the pick here. Yep, that should mean they're dead. Exactly dead. All right. So we averted a third straight 3-3 at least. Be 4-3 now, at worst. Solid hand. No snow mana, unfortunately, but we'll probably be okay. Maybe we'll just draw a 1-drop again like we did in the last game. Just let us curve out. Thank you for the sub, Eon Volterra. Yeah. So we definitely lead with the Sculptor. Once we get the Courser in play, pick only costs 1 mana, so... now it's even sadder that we don't have snow mana. Yeah, the question is whether I want to play Fall of the Imposter next turn instead of the Courser. Well, now it's not much of a question, because we'd like to have somewhere to put that counter. So... Ooh, there's a Boreal Outrider from them. That's a little concerning, because they'll start playing things with counters on them. I still think we play our Courser here. I mean, if I play Fall of the Imposter, I guess I can get closer to the removal effect, but next turn I can play it for 2 and the pick for 1 and equip the pick, and yeah, I mean, unless they have another Frostbite, which they might. Yeah, that's pretty gross. Okay. Hey, there's snow mana. Does that change my plans at all? I don't think so. Getting Fall of the Imposter online, pretty good plan, I think. Question here is whether I want to attack. I don't think I'm going to. We have to try to keep these creatures in line as best we can, and it looks like we will. For this turn, anyway. Put a counter here. Okay, so this turn I can attack, assuming I get the... what am I trying to say here? Assuming I get the treasure, anyway, because then I can play Outrider Champion. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that is the plan this turn. Yeah, so we go Outrider. Gold Maw Champion. So this is going to kill something. Yeah, I was going to say, we had too good of a start, you know. This deck has been pretty sweet. I mean, in some ways I do think it's overachieved a little, but it's a pretty good aggro deck. I mean, green-white isn't really the premier aggro color pair in this format, but we ended up with such a low curve and so many good uncommons, especially, that, you know, we're getting there on wins. Yeah, they were in a horrible place after we got that treasure, and Starnheim Courser's been real good in this deck. I mean, it let us double spell that turn with the Saga plus the pick, and we just wouldn't have been able to. Or we could have, but we couldn't also equip the pick. Alright, pretty good. We haven't really gone off a Clarion Spirit yet. Speaking of strong uncommons. This is probably like a black-white nonsense deck, you know, the double spelling and everything. They're gonna go all in on the drain here, looks like it. Alright, So, I don't think we're going to be double spelling in the immediate future, unfortunately, but I think we will be at some point. Oh yeah, real low for limited. Especially in this format where lots of people are playing all kinds of silly things. Yeah, it's going to get frostbit. Yeah. This is like a crazy low curve in this format. So, if they don't disrupt us anyway, I wish it reduced the cost of this, but it doesn't. So, they may get under us. You know, so far we've been more aggressive than all our opponents, but might not be true here. It's a reasonably good sign, I think. Okay. So, yeah. I think we go ahead and get Fall of the Imposter online here. The only thing that could suck about it is they could kill our Courser. But I feel like if they could have, they probably would have last turn. I mean, if I wanted to be a little more careful, I could play my other Courser, but I think we'll just go for Fall of the Imposter here. And then we're going to foretell our Onslaught, which I don't know if we've done that today, or, you know, not today, but so far with this deck. Seems like we've been casting it straight up mostly. So that's probably a removal. Yeah, well, if that's not a removal spell, then that is. So, but we're still not like completely destroyed here. Submit 0, thank you. Yeah. So I almost feel like the Elven Bow creature as a 2/3 is better right now than a flyer. I think that's probably true. So let's go for the bow. So right now we're going to kill Axguard Cavalry on this next turn. They do have 2 cards in their graveyard, unfortunately for us. Oh, but we're gonna... I guess we're gonna kill it. Only after it hits us for 6, though, huh? I can actually take it down with Kaya's Onslaught. And then kill Axguard Cavalry. That might be the best move here. I think it is. I mean, it's not the ideal way you want to draw it up, but... yeah, so then we kill Axguard Cavalry. See you later. Look out, flying and reach, you know? It's funny, because reach is basically just worse flying, you know? Okay, so... play this Gold Maw Champion. So it can double block the Hulk reasonably effectively. I think I'd prefer to do it, just leave it as is here. They do have us at low enough life, and they have such card advantage that I'm not sure we're... oh, God. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not sure. Well, that helps. I mean, moving the bow wouldn't have made a huge difference. I guess a 3/5 is a better blocker. That's true enough, I guess. So I think I'd rather Bounding Gold the Hulk, honestly, because I'm not going to turn off Cardur's ability, you know. So plus Cardur Yeah. They're going to attack us on the backswing here, so obviously enough, because they can. But yeah, we're going to move the bow now. And then I guess attack with both, and we're going to take like 5 next turn or something. Yeah, so at least 5 is what we'll take. I feel like there is something like reach for it, but I could be wrong. Run amok here. It's pretty close to killing us. Ugh. Well, we're just going to end our turn here. Yeah, we are not the beatdown in this one. They must have the Berserker payoff, I feel like. Like, playing the number of Berserkers they are. Like, they may have both the rare ones. That'd be pretty cool for them. Alright, play the Ursher here. So, the question is whether I think it's worth attacking with my Courser and then putting the bow on my Courser, attacking with it, and then moving it back to the champion. Probably not. I mean, we're at low enough life that we have to take things kind of seriously. The horrible thing here is that Cardor's ability is such a nightmare. I've lost to Kaldheim so many times in this format. Like, you know, black-red's not a great color pair, but if you can get Kaldheim in play and your opponent can't deal with him... Oh, well, there's another reason to be in black-red. I think we're gonna lose this one. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think there is a reach-like thing for horsemanship. Why did they do it that way? Why didn't they kill our creature? I mean, it doesn't really matter. I think we still lose no matter what, but... If they had killed our Goldmaw champion, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Interesting. Well, you probably didn't want to play that first, but if it's your only spell, I guess you do. I mean, I'm at 4. All they have to do is attack with these 4 creatures and I'm dead because of Kaldheim, but looks like they're going to give me more of a chance than I should have. So, obviously we have to not be dealing with his ultimate to have any chance at all. But at only 4, Kaldheim's ability drains for every attacking creature that dies, and they're at 19, so... They're actually getting rid of all our lands for us here. Yeah, I think maybe they just realized we'd be dead. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah. I guess they could be more certain now. I had a card in my hand or whatever, but... Yeah. I mean, is there a way for me to block here where I don't die? Not really. I have to kill all of their attackers. I don't have any blocks that don't kill their attackers, so... Yeah, we dead. Horsemanship is interesting, though. Like, that's in Portal 3 Kingdoms, which was a set they designed to be a standalone set originally. And so the flavor was different. And so horsemanship is just literally them porting flying over to Portal. Like, that's literally what it is. Like, they just gave it a different name. That made sense with the War of the 5 Kingdoms, I think. I don't remember. Chinese history is not my forte. I teach the World History Survey and briefly touch on on such things, but not... I can't remember what the war is. But the point is, horses made more sense than flying things because they said it in the real world. So, you know, the historical past. Ugh, we've had some good hands. This is not one of them. One land is not gonna work. Okay. How about that? So, I guess we're gonna send back the Oracle. Yeah, I mean, it's the worst of these cards. I mean, the pick's not amazing, and we do have Fall of the Imposter, so maybe we should be more interested in having creatures, especially when we have Boreal Outrider. Okay, I talked myself out of it. We probably do want creatures more in this hand between Fall and Boreal Outrider. Okay. Are we going to get run over by another faster aggro deck? Could happen. Alright, so... yeah, I guess we'll foretell this. Red-white is like the best aggro deck in this format, so I think an optimal red-white deck will normally beat an optimal green-white deck, so generally speaking. Whoa, there we go. Yeah, so we're gonna play our Outrider here. Next turn will be nice if we can play Fall of the Imposter and Doomscar Oracle. I guess we want to play Doomscar first and then Fall of the Imposter. So if our Outrider stays alive here, I think we have a chance. If it does not, well, we probably don't have a chance. We're going all in on the Raptor. Okay, I mean, there are worse things. Especially when we have Fall of the Imposter in our hand. I mean, we're going to gain some life over the course of things. They do have like oh, man. Yeah. Okay, well, I think we probably lose now, if I had to guess. Too many flyers. Just too many flyers. So we may be able to sneak lethal in, as crazy as that sounds, with the help of our Onslaught. We'll have to see. They may be able to kill us before then, but we're going to gain a little bit of life along the way. So they can sacrifice a creature to make it indestructible. The question is whether I'm okay with that trade. That's really what it's going to come down to. Put this counter on the Outrider. Because if we get them down to one creature, Fall of the Imposter will be quite powerful. It only exiles things from our graveyard, not like in play. So if I attacked here... I mean, I don't think it's the right thing to do. No, it's not. But it's worth considering. I think we wait for an opening where we can just do lethal out of nowhere, which is a possibility. And Fall of the Imposter does help a little bit. So, you know. We may still sneak lethal in. I mean, the problem is they're getting all this extra mana, which also means they're going to be casting spells. So, that's, you know, not good for us. So, yeah, I mean, they have lethal in the air. We are going to attack this time because we don't have to worry about any... blocking from the Immersturm Predator. So I guess I'll put the counter on the Oracle. Three, four, five. Unfortunately, I can't play the pick. Oh, I can play the pick and the Onslaught, but I can't equip the pick. So they can hit us for, they hit us for 10, 11 next turn, so even gaining 2 life won't save us. Yeah, I don't think we can do quite enough damage. Unfortunately. I guess I may as well just play the Usher. I guess if they block, we have a little bit of a chance here. So yeah, we can do 12. We can do 16, but that's obviously not enough. Yeah, so we're not going to be able to get there. We go up to 11, and then they hit us for 11. It's unfortunate, right? Make him have a little bit of a heart attack first, though. Alright, we'll take the 5 and 3. I mean, I think that deck was pretty good. We got under, you know, all the snow decks, more or less, but we got beat by better aggro decks. Just kind of where you end up in green-white, I feel like. That's kind of the way the matchups go. Yeah, one turn short, indeed.